Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Let's look at some of the latest news today regarding Man City, and this is a kind of a new show, you could say, where we'll have a look at the news regarding Man City on a daily basis so that we can know what is happening around the club and we can have some good interaction as well. That in the first piece of news, you can read there Pep Guardiola urges Man City to pile the pressure on Premier League rivals. I mean, I think Pep has actually clinched the pivotal moment to say this statement. He could have said this statement maybe 2 days ago, for example. I mean, sorry, a week ago or 2 weeks ago when we were yet to play Liverpool or when we were playing Manchester United. I mean, Pep has told this comment right now. I think because Arsenal had dropped points last week, against Southampton. I think so. Pep had seen that, and then this was the comment made by Pep, of course, after the Leicester match. So Arsenal hadn't played till then. So I think this is Pep now starting to play mind games with Arteta, starting to play mind games with Arsenal. Pep is here telling Arsenal that it's just not enough if you play great football and all and decimate rivals where 4-0 final, play beautiful football. It's winning the title will be about. And how do you deal with those mind games? How do you deal when the opponent is piling up pressure on you? So I think Pep has identified this as, I wouldn't say pivotal moment, but this as a moment where he can pile pressure on Arsenal. Of course, Arsenal won against Nottingham Forest, but the pressure will be there. The pressure will be there. So there's an indirect message to Arsenal and not City because Pep knows City are in that rhythm. Against Leicester, we actually were not. I mean, people are saying we're not that good, but actually, I thought we were good. We were passing the ball very quickly, one touch football, two touch football, the triangles and all. Okay, sometimes it was slow, but then the one touch football, the control was always there. Maybe the speed of the pass wasn't there in the final third, but the speed of the pass was there up to the build up. So I actually think that was an interesting thing I noted, and we are there after the Copenhagen game, for example, after the Dortmund game where we were lethargic. I think we are back. We are back in that rhythm, and Pep wants to continue this rhythm along with putting pressure on the title rivals. So this is actually very interesting and very astute from Pep Guardiola. But against Leicester, the performance showed me that we are back. Okay, without a De Bruyne free kick, the game would have ended 0-0. But then, from when have score lines come on to define which team is playing well, or when have score lines come on to define which team can go on to potentially win the title? I know we have to win matches to win the title, but not always does the playing style and your form be dependent on the score line. In the next piece of news, if you see, Kevin De Bruyne has spoken about his mental state ahead of the World Cup. This is interesting actually because there are just 3 games to go. I mean, 2 Premier League games and a game against Chelsea in the EFL Cup to go before all of the players go for the World Cup, right? I mean, this has never happened before a midweek, I mean, a mid-season World Cup. So it's difficult to assess what kind of a mentality the players will be. I mean, will the players come into that zone where they'll be careful not to go into that tackle full-blooded, for example, not to stretch your hamstrings a little bit more, for example, and put in that extra sprint, put in that extra shift, for example. Will that be the mindset of the players? Because already we have seen so many players suffering injuries. Bukayo Saka yesterday suffered injury. I don't know what the extent of the knock is. Lukaku suffered a potentially reoccurrence of a potential hamstring injury or something. I was just reading before coming onto the show. A lot of players are getting injured. Reece James potentially a couple of weeks back he suffered an injury which has ruled him out of the World Cup. So players will be careful. I know that, but City will actually be thankful that we have a very kind fixture list. I won't say the games are easy. Fulham and Brentford. Fulham is a high pressing team. Brentford love to press as well. Even Tony and Mbumo on the counter for Brentford. Mitrovic for Fulham. So it is actually not a sort of cake walk in the park or something. But it's at least that our rivals are playing big games. Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool. At least we don't have to deal with those things. So, but anyway, De Bruyne was saying that his mind will entirely be on the 6 pointer in the EFL Cup and then he will depart. But we know down in the heart that the World Cup will be there in his mind as well, in every player's mind. I'm interested to see the mindset, how the players will actually respond in terms of giving their everything. I mean, I don't have any doubts about the commitment, be it the City players or any other club players, but it's just the mindset. Sometimes you're like 4 months. Once it comes, you just hold back a few things which you would normally go on and to do a full-blooded tackle or something in normal circumstances. So that will actually be interesting to see how players go about it. And in the next piece of news, you can see it's about Rodri. Rodri can provide unlikely answer to Man City's Erling Haaland situation. I mean, this article is very interesting. It's almost a direct indication of the fact that we were putting so many crosses in and no one was at the end of it. I mean, Julian Alvarez's game is not crossing game, so of course it's not his mistake that he's diminutive and he's not tall. That's not his game. But to break that Leicester defense, I know you could penetrate through the middle, but it was so difficult, especially with Jamie Vardy also defending. So potentially you're defending against 10 men. It's difficult, and coming from the sides and whipping the crosses in was a good tactic, but the players weren't there. Julian Alvarez cannot compete with the Soyuncu, with your fast, for example. In order to win those headers, it was almost an impossible situation. So I actually think that in the second half, what you had seen is Bernardo Silva passes to Rodri was an example, and Rodri just hits it wide. But more than that, Rodri was given the license to go forward much more. Rodri found himself at the end of 2, 3, even 4 crosses in the second half itself, if you observe. So I actually think that is a tactic actually which Pep can use against Parthabas teams. I was a little surprised that Pep didn't play Ilkay Gundogan, because in these sort of games, in this sort of fixtures against Parthabas teams, you need a player you need a physical tall striker, either that who can hold off people and who can create space for others, or the second thing is, I always think you need someone who can make those late intelligent runs. Intelligent is the key word here. Late intelligent runs. Time is runs exceptionally well from the midfield, and that is Ilkay Gundogan. When Aston Villa were almost parking the bus on the last day last season for the title challenge, when we were competing with Liverpool, what did Ilkay Gundogan do? Why did he change the game? He arrived late in the box. And when you arrive late in the box, it's almost like it's the opponents get confused. So I was surprised that Pep didn't go with that false 9 tactic. I know Julian Alvarez can play false 9, but Julian Alvarez can't play in the midfield as much. Maybe he can play just behind the striker, but he's not a natural midfield player. So what I thought was he'll play Gundogan as the false 9 typically, and they will exchange De Bruyne, Bernardo, Gundogan, maybe a Rodri also going inside. So when you exchange it and when you play a false 9 like this, the defenders most of the time don't have anyone to mark. They can sometimes come into the midfield, which will create space for you, or they can sometimes have a lapse in concentration where Gundogan can just pick the moment and go and arrive late in the box. So a lot of possibilities. So I was surprised Pep decided to go with an out-and-out striker in Julian Alvarez instead of a false 9 sort of a player. That was very surprising for me, but in the end, De Bruyne scored that free kick and we got it. But Rodri can surely score goals. We know that. And yesterday's game showed that we can win despite Erling Haaland as well. I know it came with a free kick, but we can win in different ways. We know that. And finally, in the final piece of news, we have Pep Guardiola claims Man City have a new Premier League title rival. This is about, can you guess the club who this is about? This is about Pep Guardiola's friend Ten Hag. Pep Guardiola's assistant coach Ten Hag. I mean, you can see that Pep Guardiola is actually not this judicious to everyone, and he's telling us to Ten Hag. He knows deep down in the heart that United still have work to do there to compete against City, for example, for the title. If City wasn't there in the title race, then Pep was bang on about his statement. But with City there in the, I mean, United defeated Arsenal, for example. United defeated Liverpool, but it's just that mentality, it's just that know-how again. See, it almost feels like, I mean, it is not that after so many years, after almost 1.5 decade or so, both Arsenal and United are seemingly competing for the title. It just seems like that. But when you're competing for it after such a long time against the team which has won so many titles in the last decade, for example. It's which has made a habit of coming out of tough situations to win a title. 2018-19 season, 7 points behind Liverpool, going into a fixture against Liverpool. We lose it, we are 10 points behind Liverpool, and the title is done. We go into that sort of a fixture and we win. Champions League, the same season, 2018-19, we were defeated by Liverpool. The league drops back. Sorry, we were defeated by Newcastle after beating Liverpool. It seemed as if we let the title go. Liverpool again have a lead of 7 points. We are knocked out of the Champions League by Spurs due to a VAR decision, and then we have a match 2 days after that. And if we don't win that Premier League match against Spurs, we're completely out of the title race. You go on and win that. So I mean, I'm telling all of this because of the mentality. See how difficult that phase was for City to go on and win the title in the 2018-19 season. Every one step forward, 2 steps back. How do you regain your self-confidence in those sort of scenarios? So I actually think that winning a title is not just about playing good football and having great players. It's about having a great mentality. It's about suffering well. It's about believing in yourself when you're suffering, believing in yourself when shit is thrown at you, when you're going through crap. That is what City is. That is what City have shown in the last 3-4 years. This is where I disagree with people who say that you have the best squad, you should win the league easily. Well, that's not how football works. That's the beauty of sport, right? It's such a leveler. It's such a leveler. City needed to dig in deep so many times last season to win the title. The season, 2 seasons before that to win the title. So I do not accept it with all of the people who say that it's just money you can win. It's just an insult to sport. Sport is not about money. Sport is beyond money. It doesn't matter. You have money, you don't have money. You can still compete. You can still compete on a higher level. So I don't buy into this as excuse by all of the opposition fans that City have money, so they won. No, it's the mentality. The mentality is far, far more important, and you can't buy that with money. So, I mean, it's on and all. It's been a good week for City, but it was an excellent week for City last time around, where all of our top 6 rivals dropped points and we won. This time, 2 of our top 6 rivals in Liverpool and Chelsea dropped points. Both of them lost and we won. So we are covering up ground over them, but I would still not ride out Liverpool because Liverpool are one team, who last season we have seen they were down and out by January. We were leading them 10 points. Okay, we had a game in hand, and look at how close they came to a quad. So I actually think that it's important for us not to write out Liverpool. You can never write out a rival who does not know how to lose. He might not make it at the end, but what a fantastic attitude it is to not know how to lose, and that is the attitude which Liverpool have, and that is why even though there are rivals, fierce rivals, that is the attitude due to which I have immense respect on Klopp as a personality, and immense respect on the never say die attitude of Liverpool. So let's look forward to the next game against Sevilla, which is pretty much a dead rubber. We are top of the group. We have qualified for the next round. So I hope Pep gives minutes to your Rico Lewis, Cole Palmer, and all of those people actually. Anyways, guys, thank you so much, and let me know in the comments below if you are enjoying this style of news show. We'll make sure that we'll bring it to you daily. Please let me know in the comments below, and also if you have liked the video, please click on the like button, and also do click on the subscribe button, and do click on the bell icon so that you get notifications whenever we come up with new videos. Again, thank you guys and take care.